Alright, so we'll keep moving on in this tutorial. We're going to keep working on one thing we set up last time was I can change kind of the state of what area in the country I'm looking for. So what I did is I actually expanded this data set. This is what you're going to get in the data for this tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of, where is it? Right here. Get rid of all this. You can delete it, and I'm going to put this new data set, okay? It includes way more places. It includes South America, North America, all these different places. We'll hit resume, and the other thing we need to do here is we need to actually update our images. So I'm going to go here and just delete all those images, okay? Except for app icon. I want to keep that one. Delete all those, and I'm going to drag all these back in there. So now if I go to content or home view, I say resume, it should update with all the proper images. And we will check that out as it updates right in here. Okay, so if I hit play, I can actually scroll through it, and I can see all these images from all the different places. Here I can get to the Asia, the Africa, New York, North America, South America. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking for there. And what we'll do with that now is we want to actually filter it by where we're looking. So right now we're looking for Europe, right? And we're seeing all these other places. So what we can do is I can go here and I can say, when we look at this for each list, what I can do is I can go to large location button, and I can turn the height of this whole button into a variable. So what I'll do is I'll create a new image, var, we'll call this var height, and let's think about the height of this entire thing so far. I'll make this a CG float. Okay, so the height of this entire thing, we'll call this, let's just put 350 for now as a baseline. And let's do that, or minimize that VStack is what I want to do. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to say the height of this entire thing, the frame height, I'm going to set it equal to this height variable we just made. And let's see what happens. So that set a definite height. And, as you can see, as we change it, we can make this maybe 400. Resume. But you can see kind of what's happening here with that height right there. But what I can also do is I can make it a height of 0. And let's see what that does. What does that do? It looks like it didn't do anything, but that's because we didn't clip it. So we can say clipped. And now suddenly everything goes away. So now that we leave clipped on, let's go ahead and let's write 350 here. And now let's look at it. So if we look at 350 with the clipped option, that's looking close to, we essentially want that blue line to match up perfectly with this view. So let's make this 330. We're slowly getting there. But our other alternate method would be, if we want something perfect, we can come here to this VStack. Look at this image. We said the image has a height of 200. And the HStack underneath it, well, let's just go ahead and give that a height. Let's say that's going to have a dot, let's say dot frame height, and we'll give it a height of 100. And let's see what that does. So that made it huge. So let's go ahead and maybe give it a height of 80. 70 is probably what we're looking for. 70 looks pretty clean. So we have the height of 70, plus we have that padding. So if we look now at this 330, let's go ahead and look at this entire thing. 330 is a little tall because what we really needed was the 200 plus the 70 plus a 20 padding on either side, because this default padding is 20. So let's just make that 310. That should seal the deal right there. As it updates, sure enough, that 310 was perfect. So The reason we wanted to figure out that this is 310 is we're going to set a default height of 310. But what we'll do is we'll go back to home view here, and when we instantiated this large location button, let's add this right here, height. Okay, and let's put a ternary operator in there. Let's say if the selected continent is equal to this destination, and the property we want of this destination, what we're looking for is, we can see it in the list of destinations, what we're looking for is this continent val. So if the selected continent is equal to this destination continent val, then we're going to use a ternary operator, and we'll say if it is true, then the height will be 310. And if it's not true, the height will be 0. And we need to write self because we're in a closure. So that actually makes this into a really valid option. So if you notice, we shouldn't get past Zurich because the other items are not from that continent. But if I click Asia, suddenly we can see all the Asia ones. And in Africa, we can see all the Africa ones. And in South America, we can see all the South America ones. We have this space that's building up, and that space is actually because of the spacing that comes in a VStack. So what we need to do is we need to just come to this VStack, and we need to say spacing is equal to 0. And that should take care of that. Now when I click Asia, or Africa, or South America, or North America, now what we have is exactly what we wanted. We see only the African options, or only the Asian options, or only the European options, and we don't have that extra space there. But so what we're doing is, technically all the other ones are still on this page, but they have a height of 0. So that gives us the views that we're looking for. We don't have that nice spacing that we had before, but what we can do to take care of that, we can actually change this 310 to be 320. Or even 330. And that is what we're looking for right there. So we can go back to large location button. We'll make this 330. And we can actually take this clipped. We can put the shadow after the clipped. Actually, we'll leave it before the clipped. And the reason is because if we put the shadow after the clipped, then we would actually have a shadow from an object that has 0 pixels in height. So let's go ahead and leave it like that. We'll go to the home view. We'll check out what it looks like. There it is in its most updated form. And that's perfect. That's what we were hoping for. So if we look at this, and we now compare it to what we were trying to make, that looks pretty darn close. So let's go ahead and clean this up here, this placeholder. Let's go to placeholder. Let's make this say, where do you want to go? And background. We'll give it one of those RGBs, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8. Where do you want to go? Let's make it even lighter. Let's make it 0.95, 95, 9. Let's stick with 9. And then we can take that and give it a corner radius as well. We got that corner radius in there. Okay, let's give it a different height. We'll say the frame height of maybe 30. So I'm not actually surprised that we're unable to change that. It's probably a default height in there. So what we'll do instead of changing that, we'll just at least take care of its width. So for its width, what we'll do is we'll put the text field itself within an H stack. And we'll put a spacer on either side. And the spacer will have a frame of a width. Let's give it a width of 30. It's perfect. And we look here, maybe we can make it 10 instead of 30. That way it lines up better. Have it update the view. And now that lines up well. So now we kind of just want this gradient and maybe even this top left button here. So let's put that gradient in. Alright, so for that gradient, we can actually go to, stick with the body. So everything we have right now is inside of one big VStack. So I'll take all that. Even though I'm going to put it in a Z stack, I'm just going to say embed in VStack, and I'll change the letter to Z. Okay. And now here, I'll do a drag and drop. Let's grab, why don't we grab this guy right here. You get a feel for what that would look like. We can say edges. Okay, and what we can do is for the starting point, let me actually just do an XY. That means it'll start up here. Okay, but even better for that X, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do UI screen dot main dot bounds dot size dot width. Very long process to get that number, but that should let me put it over here. It's not liking that, so let's just stick with 0. It's no biggie if we have it generate from here versus over there. So we have that, and for colors, let's do the blue _1. Let's do it to white. We can even do one of the dark. Let's do blue _2. Yeah, it's starting to look pretty darn similar. Alright, so we'll keep moving along towards the final product in the next tutorial, okay? See you in the next one.